Welcome to City Lights. Hello, everyone online too. From all over the world, all over the country. Good to see you too. We are broadcasting from the unceded ancestral homelands of the Ohlone peoples. Remember that. Find out who your indigenous folks are. Pay a little respect at the beginning. So it is a thrill to have our dearly beloved Dodie with us here again after many, many moons, after pandemics and so on and so forth. And Tender Buttons Press and City Lights are very delighted to be celebrating two new editions of two of Dodie's fundamental works, the Cunt-Ups and Cunt Norton. Dodie's contributions to the literary life are renowned the world over. She is, of course, one of the originators of the new narrative literary movement. As an award-winning novelist, nonfiction writer, journalist, editor, Dodie has utilized the tools of experimental fiction and critical theory and applied them to the narrative storytelling. The results have been breathtaking as they are groundbreaking, and we're delighted to cast a spotlight on two of these celebrated works. And we have an all-star cast for you tonight. With us, Maxe Crandall. Okay, those of you online, you cannot hear the applause. And I haven't been able to figure out how to wire the room to get applause. Every time I do it, we get feedback. And then, so I just pretend that you can hear it after every person. Thank you. So, Marcella Faustini. Jason Morris. And London Pinkney. And also with us from Tender Buttons Press is Leigh Ann Brown, who will say a few words at the outset and will read some of her own work and some of Dodie. So let's get this show on the road. Leigh Ann Brown, welcome. And we're reading alphabetically, by the way.
Well, I do want to bring Dodie up first because she's going to frame a lot of this project. But I do want to thank everybody before she comes. Just thank you, Peter. Thank you, City Lights. Finally get to be at City Lights. I'm so excited. Thank you for the audience in here and out there. And thank you, Sophie Robinson, Ariana Reines, David Book for all the blurbs and intros and things like that. And thank you, Michelle Rollman, for the amazing animal human hedgehog artwork and little author bird inside the new CUNT NORTON. There's a new illustration inside. You have to look inside to see that one. And thank you, Wayne Smith, for the wonderful design on both books to make them a matching gift set. So before I'll read my CUNT up later, but I want Dodie to go first. Yeah, Dodie Bellamy, welcome.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for coming, and thank Leigh Ann, who had no idea of doing this. It's my little vanity project that she went along with. So, because I just had this vision. Finally, the Leg Fig version from 2014 was officially out of print. And I just had this vision of the two of them together. And everybody did an incredible job on it. Wayne Smith did a beautiful, and yeah, Michelle Roman did a new hedgehog for us. And so the reason I'm going first is that in the original version, like Le Fig would put out like, I don't know, 5 or 6 people at once. They would do it by the season. And they would have each author write an artist statement, but they would put that in a separate book. So it was never part of the original. So in our version, we put that artist statement in here, and it kind of explains the whole project. So that's the main difference between the Le Fig original and this one. It has the artist statement in it. And and my editor, Vanessa Place, did you see her in the New York Times as a fashion model this past week? It was all over Instagram. Okay. And Teresa Carmody was the other editor. Okay. These lips which are not one. That's the essay. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Cunt Norton is the big budget sequel to the indie Cunt-Ups, which I published with Tender Button in 2001. I've merged the porno-erotic source texts of my original cut-ups with poems harvested from the second edition of the Norton Anthology of Poetry. In Cunt Norton, I send Cunt-Ups lovers to extravagant English and East Coast U.S. locales. They fuck and suck in dramatic landscapes, lightning flashing on the earth and in bodies of water. They come spraying through rarefied air. I costume them in gowns by Edith Head, glamorize them with guest appearance by famous stars. No more Jeffrey Dahmer confessions and internet articles on the connection between sperm and ectoplasm. We're talking Shakespeare and Lord Byron. We're talking the big-time verse philosophers. Published in 1975, the second edition of the Norton is the one I was exposed to as a young poet. In the anthology's preface, the editors rehearse the additions they made to the 1970 first edition. They doubled the amount of women. They're particularly proud of Anne Bradstreet, Emily Bronte, and Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And they added 34 additional modern poets, the youngest being Nikki Giovanni and Michael Andance. They also diluted the volume's whiteness a bit. Quote, 4 new Black poets amplify the presentation of that tradition, they write, implying that all Black poetry hails from a single altern, that tradition. In the back cover copy, the 1,344 page, including the index collection, is heralded a magnificent bargain with poems a penny each, perhaps a reference to Joyce's poems penny each, though Joyce himself is not included in the anthology. My original plan for Cunt Norton was to focus solely on white male poets, but after reading the Norton's preface, I was reminded that patriarchy, ditto its canon, has more moving parts than I had anticipated. Therefore, in acknowledgement of the 1975 edition's proud tokenism, I have cunted 1 white female poet and 1 Black male poet. And I should say that actually this was not my idea. This was Kevin Killian's idea, but I take credit for it in this intro. Okay. To tart up this introduction, I plan to weave in a juicy quote from These Lips Which Are Not One, an essay by Luce Irigaray that was really important to me as an antidote to the reverence for the literary canon I was taught at Indiana University. I discovered in the early 80s when Irigaray translator Carolyn Burke visited Kathleen Fraser's feminist poetics class at San Francisco State. When I started researching the essay online, I could find no reference to such a text, and I eventually concluded that my remembered title is an amalgamation of Irigaray's book, This Sex Which Is Not One, and her 1980 essay, When Our Lips Speak Together. By citing a hybrid text that doesn't exist, I invite you into the tangled world of Cunt Norton, through the veins of which misappropriation flows like donated blood that's been mistyped. Burke's translation of Irigaray, When Our Lips Speak Together, begins with this, quote, if we could continue to speak the same language to each other, we will produce the same story. A bit later, if we continue to speak this sameness, if we speak to each other if men have spoken for centuries, as they taught us to speak, we will fail each other. Again, words pass through our bodies, above our heads, disappear, make us disappear. In Cunt Norton, I will not flee from an aesthetic designed to make me disappear. Instead, I would take on these texts in the spirit of the Buddhist Tonglong practice, where instead of turning away from painful material, you embrace it. You breathe negativity into your body and breathe out light. This is my dream for Cunt Norton, that the text breathes out light, or something more feminist than light. These patriarchal voices that threaten to erase me, of course I love them as well. To cunt a text is to adore it. As those bards of yore so well knew, desire, think Cupid's arrow, arrives from elsewhere. You can feel it coming on like the flu. Suddenly there's this other. It doesn't matter if you've known them for 20 years. Suddenly there's this energy. And even if you say to yourself, not him, not her, you know, there is no resisting. It's inevitable. This person, even if they're unaware of you, they take up residence in your psyche, and there's no getting rid of them. You feel destroyed before it begins, yet compelled. Desire exhausts, dissolves us. Cunt Norton will last as long as there are quadrants of desiring text. When those are spent, the book ends. Until then, it will keep fusing with poem after poem, desperate and insatiable. The irrationality of uncontainable desire consumes the tight metrics of logocentrality. As the two texts thrust against one another, a new rhythm is co-created. Shakespeare, Frost, Stevens, Byron, Whitman, Wordsworth, Milton, Poe, seasoning the act with loftiness, melancholia, hubris, romantic kinkiness, nostalgia, a range of mysticism, mourning, religiosity, and nature, nature, nature. Libidinous voices cry out in the night. We're never quite sure if the voices are one or two, if they are talking to one another, us, or it themselves. This is as it should be. And then it goes on and it gives very specific details for making your own. Cunt Norton's way more specific than Burroughs, who is impossible to figure out what to do. So I won't bother you with that, but thank you. And thank you guys for reading my poems. And some of you wrote your own, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, most of all, I want to thank Dodie for letting us print and publish and take care of these amazing books. Thank you, Dodie. I'm going to read one sonnet that I wrote. I didn't know what to read at first, and I just searched for the word cunt in my manuscript, so I just found one poem that has that word in it. So but I love that phrase, to cunt a text is to adore it, from your intro. And I was talking with a friend about that, how we first published this. It was like, oh, I couldn't, you can't say this. And then now it's like in the lingo so much more, like in Instagram said that somebody said that's the highest compliment, to be cunty or something like that, so it's really become in the culture, thanks to you, Dodie. Yeah, right. Yeah, London's different. Yeah, okay, this is my sonnet, that being their way to God. I see a photo of a sweet girl I slept with only once, posing on broom handle and mop at cross purposes, as if crucified. She did a much admired lesbian kiss-in as protest at a Detroit Cracker Barrel. I wish I could have been there in my Miss Piggy outfit, activist in my latex mask on my own terms, marching with the sign. Now I have to be a Sesame Street walker as a prankster Mayday message. All these images erased by big media as they were, never posted, but live in my mind. It's time to put out the origin of cracker as being actually whipper, not buttered the saltine kind, and not fetishize the unforgivable. So instead of home sweet home Southern high kitsch, I stitch a pillow, cunt, sweet cunt. All right, thank you. Okay. And here is Dodie's Hunt Blake. And we know that Blake sang his poem, so I might go into that. Who knows? Let's see. We don't know what the tune was, so it's, up for grabs. When thou holdest my skull against thy lovely, heavenly wildflower, I hold infinity in my mouth and cheeks. Thy robin red breast cages my hair, and I, a harmless ex-Catholic boy, eating the doves and pigeons, shudder till hell through all its 1,000 words puts a kiss on each of us, on each of thine eyes. Do not predict ruin, not with the state of thy horse nipples. 1,000,001 times could I suck their human blood. Each outcry of thy hunted cunt, thy asshole excites my ear. Thou dost wail like a lark wounded on the wing, my cherubim. I plant a big, wet, long kiss on thy mouth. Armed for fight, then does my rising sun fill thy mouth, which is small. As far as mouths from hells go, my human soul, my wild deer, I bloody thy cock with my cunt. Thou carest about my lamb and never hast it misused, which breeds a totally cliched heart. Thou easily dost open with thy big knife. Thy bat with splits at close of eve hast my heart. Thy balls slapping against me call upon the night and speak the meaning of Dracula. Stake me, sad is the wren who shall never be beloved by man, the right man like thee. So very easy with words who comes to life when by the right woman loved. My wanton boy, move thy pelvis up and down, torment my chafer's sprite. Now thy arrow points at me like a caterpillar on a leaf. Repeat thee, thy, them, while I swallow thee whole until the last judgment draweth nigh, until thou with thy tongues passest the polar bar, thy beggar's dog licking, I think I might pass out. Thy fat gnat sings to my summer's rosebuds as thou fuckest me under the poison of the snake and newt, sweating squirrels, stones stuck to our skin. Thought is the artist's jealousy. Slam thy princess cock into me, lying here on my miser's bags. A truth that's told bad, then rough, can feel so good. Right, it should be so. Man was made for a pair of cotton bikini panties, that through the world he may safely go in joy and woe, in bed wearing nothing but these panties. Under every grief and pine runs a joy. I feel like cunt all the time under my waistband, and a damp spot appears on the front of my hands. Every farmer understands. To kiss thy face and mouth is to kiss eternity. I've caught thee, my female. I've turned thee, my small one, and I've put it to thee until thy bleat, bark, bellow, and roar are waving in time. I drag thy ass through the aspens, my rod from beneath writing revenge. I poke out and in thee in so many places. The air shreds to rags and the heavens tear. Thank you. Thanks, Dodie. So now we have Maxe Crandall. Maxe, welcome back.
Hey everyone. Thank you, Leanne. It's a real Dodieism, I think, to call this relaunch of these two iconic books a vanity project. Thank you for republishing these. I was thinking about tonight and the fact that I used to get so much pleasure of introducing my students to Dodie's work and to Kevin's work. And now so often my students already know Dodie, your work. And that's a really wonderful thing to see. And these books are a part of that. So hooray, we're here to celebrate. I was on the fence. I had planned to read Cunt Chaucer because that was like my blemish in graduate school. I got a B+ in my Chaucer class because my pronunciation of Old English was so bad. So imagine how bad it would be today. But instead, I needed to go with Auden. So tonight, I'm Cunt Auden. Your sins can be forgiven if your body rises, smiling, skinless, and watches me come, my innocent athlete. Gesticulate with your forehead, then fuck me to the furthest point. My blessed will not care until your head shakes like a rattle with nothing to hide, dear. I know nothing of your bed, but I want to have you in my arms, love. You live to come, that's what I hear. To make you feel solid, I jimmy on your limestone landscape. Look me over with both hands, bend my head, my raw, well-governed cities and ships. I'll keep loving you until my heart is in your hands instead of my artificial darkest secrets. I kiss your features, bare and brown, no blades. I kiss your thoughts, your air and nowhere. I sit down, yet enter your head. I milk the cum of intelligible multitudes, a million eyes, your breasts. I put my arms around you, waiting for a sign. Out of the air, a voice rubs my pussy against the scar on your causes, just a voice in tones dry and level. There's an incredible amount of cum. I put it, as discussed, column by column in my guts, my heart, my lungs, the undersides of a belief whose logic brought forth these organs, their incorrect shapes and shoulders for ritual pieties. White flour, I'll fill your mouth with everything there on my shining metal altar. I'm horny without you, my pilgrim. Turn your forge light on this scene, barb me. I've got my arms around you, and here in my official lounge, I crack open so you can see them, the lips of my cunt. It's ordinary and decent for you to watch me, to own my limbs. As I stand facing your tree, you impale my figure, lead me forth, boundless. I've had a hard-on all morning, before the mass and majesty of your world, all yin. You be a good girl, I'll take care of you. Lay here in my hands with their many fingers. I've never ever given anybody help who didn't come. Focus on my asshole, my manhood. I'm not proud. I die as a man and then I come again onto your breasts and shoulder. I'm an athlete at my game, dripping like moss in a rainforest. My lips are quick to music. Your asshole turns into a large clit on my dancing floor, my weed-choked field. You've bled on me since the circle began. Into your vacancy, my bird flies up to safety.
Marcella Faustini.
Hi, everybody. I have the old edition again, I bought a long time ago. And so I'm reading from it because it's all marked. I picked Cunt Poe. I first read this, it's a take on Annabelle Lee, which I think I read around 13. So in Portuguese. So if it feels right to play up with this third version of it. Thy swelling tells me thy wind is heaving, but there's no hint whether thy wind is light, dark, or medium. As I am lying beside thee, lo, a stir is in the air. A wave overwhelms me, an incredible arousal that thrusts aside the slightly sinking dullness we felt for one another. Coursing within my filmy haven, waves ring everywhere, and I know it is thou, breathing, faint and low. Though I still haven't unearthed what thy cock looks like, keep licking to settle me hands, lest hells rise 1,000-fold from my lobotomized cunt. Do it, my gallant knight, in sunshine, running thy thong along my scar as I slide in search of thine Eldorado. I love how thine Eldorado grows, Love the blood rolling out to my side as I fall to a spot on the ground. Don't leave me, even unintentionally, for thou hast not failed me with thy length. We meet as pilgrims, we cuddle and fuck, and my land is thy land, mine El Dorado. In front of thee, as I unzip my pants, shadows ride, boldly ride, shading my little pointed tongue with its red tip. Many and many a year ago in a kingdom I couldn't keep my pussy off thy dick. Thou mayest know my pussy by the name of Annabelle Puppy. Dear fuck slug, I fuck thee with no thought than to love and be loved by thee. Cranberry desire dripping out of my kingdom by the sea. We love with a love that has me down on my knees, undoing my pants, with a love that winged seraphs couldn't keep me from begging for. And this is the reason. Long ago in thy kingdom, I came dabbed with broken blood blisters, my beautiful Annabelle Lee. Claim me, I won't be a problem. I shut myself up in thy sepulcher, gently this time, swinging my cock, so happy. Heaven envies thee, the way I'm doing this to thee all day in my kingdom by the sea, pleasure dripping like riding from its side, enough pleasure to kill me, my Annabelle Lee, enough to keep me from wanting to fuck those who are older than we. Thy cock and thy lips are heavenly. Thine El Dorado distress the demons, 4 of them at once inside of me. Until I die, my soul, my beautiful Annabelle Lee, I'll fuck thee in the flesh. Thou who came to me in dreams, my beautiful Annabelle Lee, thy fabric weaving through me since the beginning, darling, my life. I fuck thee until our bloods move like tombs in the sounding sea.
Jason Morris.
Thank you very much, City Lights, and thank you, Dodie, so much for asking me to read. I especially like that in the afterword, she notes, all persons who cunt are female, regardless of the gender they present in ordinary reality. Cunt Olson. A complex 4-color map would not be able to separate me from your tree, my heron. I praise your long grass as I drag my tongue across your neck and ankle, my heron. I look straightly towards tomorrow when I'll make enough slurping to raise your sheaf up. The stick of your leg will never want to hear any other music again. When you grow your wheat, my presentation understands you. I am both woman and small boy in white carrying your dissolve. I go straight down on you in a black wig, intent upon pushing your tits up toward your face so you can lick them while I'm in your rushes. You are as far as I am animal. I skin you alive like a fucking rabbit. Rows of beaters driving your game to my hut. You're wet and I'm huffing, trying to open space in your low shrubs. I think of your neck of earth, and my hard song rises like we're teenagers. I'm kissing your recovered sickle with the grass stains still on it. I'm kneeling here between your legs with your barley. Cut me down. I am tree. I am your boy, my head moving back and forth. Your lips, when in motion, are the season of my river and cock. My eyes close like a blind mole. I am your hawkweed, holding you as the wind blows. You press yourself up against me like escaped civil war and marauding soldiers. My cock will be yours. My mouth will be yours, a mouth wine made of dandelions. Our new rights are casualties on every battlefield. When your hand groves my flailed crops, my thighs slightly part and I clench my cunt around your head. I have to learn the simplest things to keep from going insane with frustration. My mouth is at sea. You are so slow to get your hand out and to suck me. My nipples are large. My nipples are your trade, standing estranged, sour as cranberries. My nipples need you without delay. I will not be content, my man, unless you're unusually charged tonight as I sit here rubbing my nature against obedience. You are late in fucking me. My nipples are very sensitive, turning hot pink for you, making more sense than my own distances. My pussy's all wet now. It's your finger's business to nature my pussy's wetness, to get it on without making dialogues. Why discuss ancient texts when the aroma of my pussy allows such pleasures? My known tongue is flicking in your little groove, my one-man world. Like tokens, my nipples harden with one touch of your hand, my man. No test can prove if love has been consummated as we move together, where it comes from, where it goes. Next up is London Pinkney.
Yeah, I'm really short. Thank you. It always happens. Yes, I have a hedonism shirt. Happy Dodie Day, happy Black History Month, and right, say it back, happy Black History Month. Thank you. I'm the only Black person in this room. And my reading is a dedication both to Dodie and to Black History Month. I will be reading Cunt Hughes after Langston Hughes, and I also wrote my own Cunt Norton after Lucille Clifton. So first is Cunt Hughes. Back and forth to a melon croon, I hear your big stalk of seaweed bobbing in the night. You impale me with a dull parlor of your oldest hand, lime green colored, swaying to the tune of weary long distances. I feel it swirl, move right through me. You make my poor piano moan, the way you're breathing into me, like I'm a dead man, all rickety. Play that sad, ragged tune, cook my head like a goat's until it turns black. My soul man, blues my deep. When I read this, I get so aroused, my Negro sings and my old piano moans in bed like a beached whale, like nobody but myself. I gwines to quit your cock for leverage, for I can't really thump, thump, thump when my foot's on your office. Your pants are still on. I'd hope for more. I got the weary blues, sleeping alone too much. I hurl my body, though I can't be satisfied. I ain't happy without you, not even for a minute. Just keep the night and croon that tune beneath the stars in the fucking redwoods. Just sit here and play, and we'll go to bed when you're solid like a freight train, or a rock, or a man that's dead. I have your cock swimming in my cunt world, which is older than the flow of human offal. I know it's you because I know blood in human veins. My soul has grown flesh. I look to you with love. I fuck your Euphrates when the dawns are young. I build your head all glistening and funky. I see you. Don't sleep. Look upon the Nile and raise my pyramids. I slide a giant chocolate dildo up your Mississippi and your Abe Lincoln. I go down on you. I split you in half and watch your bosom turn all golden in the sunset. I know your balls are out. I take your skin off and grow deep like the rivers. So long is your cock, so fat is the hole through its center. I talk dirty to stay alive. Save those that history books create. Save my mouth or my ears will fall off. I beat out blood with words sad sung, embodied as possible. My tits and pussies away from Africa. Subdued in time loss, I need you. Your hard miss racing to come. This is my song. Do me here right now. Lick your words off bitter yearnings. In this lost place, come for me in gobs of glue, digging the split of my sugar hill. Cast your findings upon my body, my lassie, my caramel treat, my honey gold baby. On your sweetest tear, I begin to gag. Your cock spurts coffee and cream, my chocolate darling. As you tongue my clit, my pomegranate lips split for proud towns and riches. Thank you. And following Dodie's instructions, which my favorite part of the introduction is when you say Burroughs never made a cake from recipe. That's just my favorite thing. We love digging at people who can't make cakes. But this is Cunt Clifton. I used Lucille Clifton's work, and then I used the erotic text from a eroticist named Zane back in the 90s. If you guys are familiar with, yes, if you're with the genre of urban erotic literature. But I've used those together, and this is Cunt Clifton. These hips are big hips. They need space to be licked. How did he know I have pretty places? These hips are free hips. They demand of me. I've never felt anything so strong. My hips move me where they want to, dick whip me, make me yearn for him, and spin him like a top. Won't you shape my hardened nipples between your thumbs into a kind of life? I have no model. Born in Babylon, I'm ready for the goodies. Make it fast. Who does he expect me to be besides myself? I made it here on my black pearl. I used one hand to hold his hand tight. My other hand came to tease his balls. My yearning tries to kill me, but fails. It is a wild country of cum in my mouth. My pussy has been groping as I place tiny kisses all over language. He is slow tonight. Everyone takes turns fucking me in the ass. Our names, music, white noise as we come. His dick of a nose, lips, his behind blinds me. He comes in my mouth, and the warm future of clothes taunts me. He approaches eating and sucking and licking all of me, smoothly as a buttock's rounding in the crevices of mad, passionate love. Love me right there with my pussy on a silver platter. I do it for fire, some of it for air, and for feeling the man I love more than life itself search for our lives in Eden together. With body-generated heat, men sit a long time indoors and cry because of the love they give. He offers me the room with peach preserves. I cannot drink because I love giving you tongue baths from your ears to your armpits. Notes rested in my throat, but you are a pillow beside me, and let me fall asleep in your arms. And I fall asleep too, dreaming of impossible men who love women of cum and tender breasts. Gently grab my buttocks and whisper the answers to questions impossible to ask. Your nipples look like eyes. Your belly button looks like yes. My name stains impossible men. Slide my panties to the side. Soon your hand is on my pussy. You promise you will bury hard things in birthdays and birthmarks. Here is a woman's soft and vulnerable body. Caress the back of my hair with your shadow. Promise mysterious places. Promise to help me go up and down on the shaft. I'm certain of only syllables left deep inside me. Our two bodies fuse to test a woman who loves impossibly. Body spasm in unison as we come. I make love. Who can resist one hand here or here? Does it feel good when I make the center of your chest form like the night? A certain joy, a certain yes. I am a satisfaction of the mouth. You write, you're so crazy. I love your crazy ass. Thank you.
Wow. Ooh. Well, that concludes our program. All those of you online, thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to Dodie and to all of you who have read. It was good to hear it.